Okay, sorry about that because I'm just I have four, literally four monitors to go through because of this sudden double home run of our team agenda, which got Ramon Magsaysay Awardees for the program. As I mentioned earlier, we have a Filipino fisherman from Zamboanga, Sibugay, na among one of the five recipients of this Ramon Magsaysay Awardee, and he is Dodoy Roberto Ballon. And the second awardee that we will have for the show is Dr. Steven Muncy, 64-year-old humanitarian worker who has been chosen for the prestigious Ramon Magsaysay Award for his dedication to humanitarian work, refugee assistance, and peace building. Okay, Steven, talo ka. Kano ka, Tagalog tayo. Okay, now let me clarify that, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Muncy has lived in the Philippines and can understand Tagalog and speaks Tagalog. Okay, so anyway, guys, welcome ka, Dodoy. Magandang umaga sa'yo. Ako natutuwa. I'm happy you received the award because it shows that the Ramon Magsaysay Award is not an award for elitists, but for people who are genuine and authentic, truly dedicated to their work. The same goes for you, Dr. Muncy. And I'll start with Kadodoy. Para sa mga viewers natin, ano ba yung ginagawa mo? Paano nangyari na napili ka?
Una sa lahat, magandang umaga sa lahat sa buong Pilipinas at lalong-lalo na sa mga kasama nating mga mangingisda sa buong Zamboanga Sibugay at sa buong Pilipinas. Yun nga, nang marinig natin na we are one of the Ramon Magsaysay Foundation Awardee, so parang hindi tayo makapaniwala. Ay ang ginagawa na man lang natin dito sa ang ginagawa namin dito as ICYMI or Kapunungan sa Gagmay Mangingisda sa Concepcion ay yung mga pagtatanim ng mangroves, yung solid waste management, yung coastal cleanup, at saka pagtatag at paggawa ng mga hanap buhay namin na pakipakinabang na hindi nakasisira ng ating karagatan. At nag-organize at nag-educate tayo ng mga kasama nating mangingisda dito para alam nila ano yung mga dapat gawin na panatilihing malusog, masagana at malinis yung ating karagatan sa pamamagitan ng iba't ibang mga partners natin ng government, different line agencies, non-government organization and different institution na concerned doon sa coastal resource management. Yun lang po ang siguro kaya nga hangang-hanga ako dito sa Ramon Magsaysay Foundation na nakita nila tayo kahit malayo tayo doon sa kabias na tayo ay simple lamang mangingisda na ang layunin ay mapaganda ang ating kabuhayan at kasama na rin yung mga susunod nating mga henerasyon sa pamamagitan ng pag-alaga at panatilihing malusog, maganda at peaceful ang ating kapaligiran sa pamamagitan ng mangrove planting, implementation of sustainable livelihood and enterprise, and people empowerment into giving them skills and leadership trainings and awareness about what is the different kind of policy the government that we have in terms of coastal resource management.
Okay. Kadodoy,
yan po, maraming salamat.
Kasi Inglesero ka na ngayon, pero nung nag-umpisa ka in 1986, I understand, you had 30 fishermen to start planting or replanting mangrove, and it became so hard, sobrang hirap, na nawala yung mga membro mo, na 3 na lang kayong natira, and yet through the years you persisted and you replanted 50 hectares at ngayon mukhang ano yung tinatarget ninyo? Ilang libong hektarya ang tinatarget ninyo?
12,000 hectares of mangroves ang target namin sa buong Zamboanga Sibugay.
Wow. Okay. Now let me go to Dr. Muncy here. Dr. Muncy, good morning. It's not every day I get to interview someone who works with refugees, who does humanitarian assistance, but you're living in the Philippines and apparently traveling a lot. What exactly have you been up to, and what's the Philippine connection?
Well, good morning, Cito and Dodoy. Good to see all of you, and thank you for this time together. You know, the Philippines has a wonderful, wonderful history of assisting refugees from various parts of the world. So in 1980, a refugee camp was opened in Bataan. I came as a volunteer, and have now spent 40 years doing this kind of work with refugees in Southeast Asia.
Oh, okay. Well, the Bataan Refugee Center is very familiar with me because I had a friend who worked there, even contracted malaria down there, and I said, "What? Why are you risking for the Vietnamese?" He said, "Cito, because no one else will." So I respect that kind of work, and now we are seeing. We're hearing talks about Afghan refugees going all over the world. So, how were you? How did you get in the radar of the Ramon Magsaysay group? I mean, you must have done something distinct.
Well, I think it's more correct to say we, not me. I belong to a group of people who have given their lives to helping refugees and displaced persons in this part of the world. And through them and myself, we've tried to make a difference in the lives of people who have lost their homes, their countries, their freedoms, and in some cases, even their history by fleeing and going to another country. And Cito, I must also say that there are many Filipino humanitarians all over the world working with refugees. As you mentioned, we have some working with Afghans in Afghanistan. We have people from the Philippines and the Sudan, Yemen, all over the world. And many of them go back to those early days in the refugee camp in Bataan, to which you referred.
Okay, Ka Dodoy, ano ang pinakamalaking pagsubok sa iyo, hamon sa inyo? What is the greatest challenge to you in promoting coastal management, mangrove replanting? Kasi ako tumira ako sa Palawan over a period of 7 years. And ang tao doon, puputulin namin yung bakawan kasi kailangan namin ng panggawa ng bahay, panggatong, panguling, etc. Pero paano mo nagawang magpa-replant ng 500 hectares?
Yan po. Yan po, isang malaking pagsubok nga bago namin nagawa yon na to complete the 500 hectares of mangrove shears in our coastal of Kabasalan. So many kind of challenges and obstacle that we faced before. Tulad ng halimbawa, mismo ang aming mga kasama na mga community, sila yung namumutol after lumalaki na yung mga mangroves. Sila din yung mga gumagawa ng mga illegal fishing activities in the ground, in our coastal fishing ground. So, at kami yung mga kasamahan o mga isda na mga nagtatanong, nagsasabi sa kanila, so sinasabihan kami, ay mga baliw kayo, ang dami-daming paano mabubuhay ng mga mangroves doon, at ano ang maano niyan, ano ang magagawa niyan sa atin. At ang pinakamalaki pa doon ay challenges na yung iba't ibang barangay ay dahil marami ng klase-klase ng mga halamang dagat at malawak na yung ating mga mangroves. So dito na sila ngayon nagkukumpulan at pinuputol nila yung ating mangroves. So yan ang problema at minsan pa yung mga operators ng mga malalaking palaisdaan or yung mga lalaking mga fishing vessels or mga commercials ay nasa gobyerno pa noon at mga impluwensyang tao. Yan ang pinaka mahirap namin kinalaban noon na kami ay buti in the help of our as a whole community ay pag naghuli kami sa kanila at nagpunta kami at sabihan sila, buong barangay, buong association, nasa 20 household to 300 household, yung kalaban nila. So parang doon natakot sila. At ang ginawa namin doon sa mga other barangay community, to stop their illegal activities in our area. So we go to their respective barangay through the help of the LGU and barangay council to organize them and educate them what is happening if we are continue to do illegal fishing and illegal cutting of mangroves. So we have not a future anymore, especially our children, if we are to continue this kind of illegal activities. No, and as today, the Fisherfolk Organization or the KJMC requiring to those member want to become a members of our association, their requirements is not a money or several or yung pira na hiningi natin as a membership, but we have, kung gusto nila magiging membro, they want to be a member of our association, they have to first plant mangroves, 100 to 500 seedlings of mangroves. Kung mabubuhay na yon, so magiging membro na sila ng aming mga association at federation. Pag hindi nabuhay yung mangroves na itananim nila, ay hindi sila magiging membro. Yun po ang aming ginagawa ngayon.
Okay, Dodoy, we're showing, we were showing a video nung nangyayari sa lugar mo. But ano ang naging benefit? Kasi maraming tao hindi nila naintindihan yung connection ng mangrove, yung bakawan na yan, sa mga taguan ng isda, dumadami ang isda. Ano yung comparison mo? Bago kayo nag-umpisa, ano ang volume of catch hanggang at gaano katagal bago nyo makuha yon compared sa ngayon?
Yes, before nung mga dekada 60 hanggang 70s hanggang kalagitnaan ng 80s, ay napakarami talagang isda sa lugar dahil nakita namin noon intact pa yung mga mangroves namin at wala pang mga illegal activities. Then after how many years papunta ng 90s hanggang 2000, naubos na yung isda na dati ay 1 oras o 2 oras lang kami mangingisda. Makahuli na kami ng mga 10 to 20 kilos. So mahirapan na nga kami kung saan namin ibenta. So after that, dahil sa mga illegal at wala na yung mangroves, so isang araw o 7 to 8 hours namin na pangingisda, ay halos makahuli na kami ng 2 hanggang 3 kilo, minsan pang ulam na lang. But after na ibalik ulit namin itong stop to illegal activities, dumami ulit yung mangroves. So after, naibalik pa unti-unti from 2 kilos hanggang 7 kilos after 1 to 2 hours of fishing efforts in the area. Then, yung mga walang nakasagwan noon, ay halos dibangkang dimotor na ngayon, yung mga hindi kayang magpaaral na kanilang anak, so kaya nilang paaralin at yung mga barong-barong namin noon, so ngayon, barong-barong pa rin, pero may mga appliances na po sa loob. Yun po ang nangyayari ngayon na hindi na masyadong mahirap, masyado ang buhay. Hindi naman kami mayaman, pero hindi naman kami napakahirap tulad ng dati, halos hindi kain isang araw. At tuwing may mga bagyo dito, ay hindi na kami tinatamaan at nasisira.
Okay, time out. Nakabarong-barong ka pero naka-signal TV ka, naka-internet ka, lahat. Social. Okay, let's go to Dr. Muncy. Dr. Muncy, the issue of migration of refugee is now a global headache, and for many countries, especially in the developed countries, a lot of leaders just don't want to touch it. They're saying, look, we have enough problems with COVID-19. We don't want to welcome refugees. We don't want to welcome all of this. What is that your biggest challenge now, or are there even bigger challenges confronting people like you and your group?
Thank you, Cito. That's a good question. You know, some people would say refugees or displaced persons are a headache, but many of us would say refugees or displaced persons can in fact be a blessing. If you look all around the world, many people who have migrated under extremely difficult circumstances have ended up in another country and helped make that country stronger, richer, more talented, more capable. And I think I could give so many examples of that, but in many parts of the world, newly arrived refugees or people who have been displaced and have been able to return home have been able to rebuild their societies and make them even better than they were before.
So you're saying that refugees don't just, go over, find shelter, and then and education and health. I mean, because the thinking is, if we allow refugees in, they're going to compete against us. That was the mentality in Texas against the Vietnamese. That was That's now the mentality in New York, etc. Even in Germany regarding Muslim refugees. You're saying that many of these refugees actually go back to their home countries?
No, I didn't say that. I said displaced persons are able to go back to their own community. Let me just distinguish a
Oh,
bit
okay.
refugees, displaced persons. So refugees have fled their country of origin because of a well-founded fear of persecution. When we talk about displaced persons, they maybe have fled persecution, but often it's armed conflict or disaster, and they remain within their own national borders. Marawi is a great example of people who were displaced by armed conflict. They're coming back, they're rebuilding the city. Marawi is going to be wonderful, beautiful, very, very inspiring in a few years after the horrific events of 2017. Many people suffered, but many people are going back and going to rebuild Marawi.
Okay, welcome back again to the program agenda. Sorry for that power interruption, courtesy of the Batangas Electric Cooperative 2, who unceremoniously seem to have cut the power. Let's go back to our guest, Dodoy and Dr. Steven Muncy. Dr. Steven, you were about to share the Marawi example regarding displaced individuals and your humanitarian work.
Well, I was just saying that the people of Marawi who went through a very, very difficult 2017, many of whom remain displaced, are going to go back and rebuild Marawi. In the case of refugees, many of them will never be able to go home because of the situation in their countries. So they, if they're in that situation, have no choice but to start a new life in their new host country.
Okay, but what exactly have you or your or group or your team been doing in terms of services or work for these communities?
Great, good questions. Again, I think a lot of our work has been on peace building, helping different people come together and work towards the same objective. We spend a lot of time in livelihood assistance to help people rebuild their lives from a socioeconomic perspective. Education, including the alternative learning system for Filipinos, has been very, very helpful. And for refugees from other countries, it's language learning. In addition, we do a lot in the area of water and sanitation and hygiene, as well as, most importantly, I would say, psychosocial support. Because when you are displaced, when you've lost everything, when you've lost your support structure, you need somebody to listen, to care, to give you an encouraging word from time to time.
Okay, now we're basically down to our last few minutes. So, Dodoy, siguro bigyan kita, I give you the chance to send a message, siguro to Ramon Magsaysay, how it helps you, and also to the fishermen. No? Last 2 minutes na tayo, ayokong ma-penalty. Baka ako magbigay sa inyo ng award. Dodoy, please go ahead.
Okay. Okay pa. Magandang umaga lahat, ulit sa lahat. Ang mensahe po natin sa ating mga kasamaan, una-una pala pasalamat ko sa Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation sa pagpili natin sa ganito kalaki at taas na karangalan at mas lalo pa makilala ang aming organisasyon at ginagawa dito sa Zamboanga Sibugay at sa aming grupo. At sa mga ating mga kasama mga mangingisda, sana po ay magkaisa tayo, tulungan natin yung ating mga gobyerno, tulungan natin ang ahensya, pakipag-partner tayo sa iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno para gawin yung tama sa Coastal Resource Management Program at panatilihin nating malinis at mayaman ang ating karagatan sa pamamagitan ng ating pagtutulungan sa pagprotekta, sa pagmamanage at sa pagkakaisa sa bayadan spirit. Paano tayo mabuhay habang tayo ay nasa dalampasigan. Yan po, maraming salamat and good morning Cito and good morning Steven to all of us and to everybody.
Hayaan mo ka, Dodoy, isang araw. One day, isang araw, pupuntahan kita dyan at tayo ay mamingwit o kaya mamana ng masamaral at ng mga magandang isda. Anyway, going to Dr. Steven Muncy. Steven, please share your thoughts with our viewers and perhaps your gratitude to the Ramon Magsaysay Foundation.
Yes, well, let me begin with saying thank you to the Ramon Magsaysay Awards Foundation. Cito, let me also note that there are 3 other laureates, a vaccine scientist from Bangladesh, a micro-enterprise pioneer from Pakistan, and a wonderful investigative journalism organization in Indonesia. I think what I would like to leave you and our audience with, including Dodoy, who's done such wonderful work, is the following. Make your heart a home for others. Make your heart a home for others. Thank you, Cito and Dodoy.
Okay, congratulations, Dodoy, Dr. Steven Muncy. Maraming salamat for your time this morning, and we are honored to be able to help you share your accomplishments and your sacrifices as well. God bless both of you. Okay, that's Dodoy Ballon and Dr. Steven Muncy, Ramon Magsaysay Foundation awardees. And I'm Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us today. Have a happy weekend. God bless all of you.